Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to be taking a little bit of a gander at all of the new, I say new, they're not really new, but all of the exciting reprinted trainer cards, which are coming out in the Pokemon trading card game in Sword and Shield. A bunch of trainer cards are being reprinted, and not to put too fine a point on it, they're actually pretty big, if I'm honest with you. Not all of them, admittedly, but some of them are actually really gosh darned important. So with that borne in mind, let's have a look, shall we? Now, some of them are actually coming back from a while ago. We are getting Citrus Berry back. It's been gone for many years. It's, at the end of your turn, if you've got 3 damage counters on, heals 3 damage and gets discarded. And similarly, Lumberry is coming back at the end of your turn if you're affected by any special conditions. You heal them all and it gets discarded. And Lucky Egg is coming back. If you are KO'd with it attached, you draw until you've got 7 cards in your hand. Those 3 tools are coming back, but I've done videos about them. I'll link them in the description. Now, Rare Candy is getting reprinted. Now, for us, this isn't a particularly big deal. In Japan, it really is quite a big deal. You see, over in Japan, they've got fancy letters that we do see on Sword and Shield cards nowadays. And even though we got Rare Candy reprinted in Celestial Storm, in Japan, that Rare Candy essentially was just a reprint of the one in Sun and Moon and rotated out. Which means that Japan were looking at a format without Rare Candy, which would obviously be ridiculous, so they got it back. Lets you evolve a basic Pokemon straight into a Stage 2 if they are ready to be evolved anyway. It is absolutely vital that we have them for all Stage 2 decks, so it's rather lovely it's staying in the format. Thing to remember, these reprints I'm showing you here, even if they're still in the format at the moment, and a few of them are, I'll point them out as we go, being reprinted now means they're staying around for longer. Energy Search. We're finally getting Energy Search back. Energy Search has been gone for a while. Lets you search your deck for a basic energy and put it into your hand. Now, if you're playing a mono energy deck, there is a very strong argument to just play an extra energy instead, but something like Green's Exploration can search for an energy search, cannot search for a basic energy. Now, of course, we've got Energy Spinner at the moment, and Energy Spinner makes Energy Search completely redundant, because Energy Spinner is exactly the same as Energy Search, unless it's your first turn, going second, and then you get to search for up to 3 basic energy cards and put them into your hand. Although even then you can search for only 1 if you want. To be completely and utterly blunt with you, Energy Search is a complete waste of your time now. But in the not too distant future, well, September 2021 or August 2021, but still, I'm expecting the rotation to be Sword and Shield on. Yeah, I'm already thinking about rotation 2021, sorry. And at that point, Energy Spinner will go away and Energy Search will be far more important. We are getting a reprint of Potion, which I'm sorry, I think this is incredibly relevant and important. I know all you do is heal 30 damage or remove 3 damage counters, phrase it how you will, but make no mistake about it, that is huge! That makes a gigantic difference. Some decks will play this. Darkrai decks played it back in the day, and Celebi and Venusaur decks played it back in the day, and the fact of the matter is decks will play it. I've already seen some Japanese decks coming out playing a little bit of Potion, and I only expect this to increase in the future. Make no mistake about it, we are glad to have Potion back. Now, we are seeing a return of Great Ball. Great Ball is the one that lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, find a Pokemon, put it into your hand. If this was in the format right now, it would actually see a fair bit of play and would be a pretty important card. As it stands, it's not so important. And the reason is very, very simple. We don't need it. Because we've got Quick Ball that searches out your basics really nicely, and Evolution Incense that searches out your evolutions really nicely, and we've still got Pokemon Communication, and essentially we have finally, when Sword and Shield comes out at least, finally got good options for Pokemon search, which we haven't had for a while. So yeah, I don't know if we necessarily need this. It's nice that we're getting it, but I don't think it's necessarily vital like it would have been had it been released a month or two ago. Now, Energy Retrieval is coming back, and Energy Retrieval is surprisingly big. Lets you grab 2 basic energy from your discard pile and put them into your hand. Now, at the moment, we've got Energy Recycler, and we got Energy Recycle System. And Energy Recycler lets you grab 5 basic energy and shuffle them back into your deck. And Energy Recycle System lets you either shuffle 3 basic energy into your deck, or put 1 basic energy from your discard pile into your hand. Well, Energy Retrieval lets you pick up 2 basic energy. It's not going to be great for fire decks playing Welder, because they've already got Fire Crystal, which does the same thing. And as a side note, Fire Crystal does see a fair bit of play in fire decks, which should help to convince you that this is a good card that is going to see play. But non-fire decks don't have Fire Crystal, so this becomes a far more important card. Think of something like the new Frostmoth, for instance. Lets you attach as many water energy as you like from your hand to your benched water Pokemon. Well, gee whiz, Energy Retrieval sounds pretty good in that deck, and as a side note, Frostmoth is proving very, very good, and Energy Retrieval is seeing quite a lot of play in that deck. And the last one that's actually being reprinted, by which I mean being brought back into the format, is Pokemon Catcher, which I legit had forgotten had even rotated out. Now, I don't mean the old Pokemon Catcher that just lets you gust a Pokemon from the bench to the active. I mean the errated version with a coin flip. The unerrated version is not coming back. Pokemon Catcher only exists with a coin flip now. And we've got some gusting options. At the moment, we've got Custom Catcher. You got to play 2 at once and it's automatic gusting. And we've got Great Catcher. You got to discard 2 cards from your hand. And then you get to gust only an EX or a GX. They're your only options. Pokemon Catcher might be on a coin flip, but you can gust anything in your face Great Catcher. And it is 1 card that you play, not a pair that you have to play, in your face Custom Catcher. And until we get a really good gusting back like Guzma or Lysander, or indeed the old Pokemon Catcher, the pre-coin flip version, this is going to be a useful card. Judging by recent formats, Pokemon Catcher is unlikely to be featured in every single deck, but you should expect to see a bunch of decks playing it as a little bit of extra gusting. And we've already seen some decks in Japan popping this in and playing this. Expect to see it being played. Now, there are a few other cards we're going to flick through a bit more quickly that are being reprinted but actually haven't left the format yet. But remember, they will leave the format at some point, or at least they would have done, but for these reprints coming out. So don't look at them and go, oh, why do we care? Look at them and go, oh, that means they're going to be in the format for a bit longer. That's pretty good. So having a look through then, Polkakia 3.0, a phenomenal card which is seeing a huge amount of play, although sad that we don't actually have the Uyama print, Boo Hiss, etc. And Polkakia lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, find a supporter, put it into your hand. It is great consistency for finding your supporters. It has seen a huge amount of play since it came back out. Expect this to keep going. Switch is one of those cards. It's a perpetual card. We had Switch back in the base set. I believe it's been legal ever since. There might have been a gap here or there. I don't think there has, but there might have been. But the fact of the matter is, we're always going to have a Switch. It lets you swap your active Pokemon with one of your bench. Expect it always to be reprinted, but it's nice that we're getting it. It sees a sneaky large amount of play. Pokemon Center Lady was only actually just reprinted back in Hidden Fates. So it's not long since we got Pokemon Center Lady back. But the fact of the matter is that it lets you heal 60 damage in all special conditions from one of your Pokemon. It's really nice healing as a supporter. It's not going to be played in every deck. It's never been played in every deck. But it has found its way to, sneak into the odd deck here and there. And that's a very nice thing. We're seeing a return of Crushing Hammer. Now, this is a much bigger deal for Japan than it is from us. You see, in Japan, Crushing Hammer was rotating out, and this essentially kept it in the format. That is not the case here. We kept Crushing Hammer in our format post-rotation by virtue of the secret rare print, I believe, in Ultra Prism. But the fact of the matter is that is going to rotate in September, or it would have rotated in September, but for this reprint. So again, it's a really good thing that we're getting this reprint of Crushing Hammer. It might be on a coin flip, but it's still a way to get rid of any energy on your opponent's side of the field. Flip a coin, get rid of one of their energy. If you want to play a Disruption deck, an Energy Denial deck, Crushing Hammer is a very important card, and keeping it in the format is a very good thing. And we're keeping Palpad. Palpad is another one that was destined to rotate out as soon as we hit our next rotation, probably in August, maybe in September. Grab 2 supporters, shuffle them from your discard pile into your deck. Now, to be fair, everyone's playing Cynthia and Caitlyn at the moment. Cynthia and Caitlyn is a phenomenal card that does let you grab a supporter from your discard pile and put it into your hand, which made Palpad a little bit less important. But it's still really good. I mean, we see a lot of Welder decks at the moment that literally just play 4 copies of Welder and a couple copies of Palpad so they can try and Welder every turn for the entire game. A lot of decks are going to be very, very happy this is sticking around. And we're getting a reprint of Energy Switch. Now, this came out in Celestial Storm, so we've got it in the format at the moment. But it's another one of those that was about to rotate out in August or September. Lets you grab an energy from one Pokemon, switch it to another. And there are some great combos here. It can be used with something like Tapu Koko. It accelerates 2 energy, 1 to each of 2 bench Pokemon, and Lightning decks have been using Energy Switch to make sure that both go onto the same Pokemon. We've got Zacian V that's got an ability that can accelerate energy onto itself, and now you can use this to Energy Switch onto another Pokemon. Arceus and Dialga and Palkia, incidentally, a great option. And we're getting Metal Saucer in Sword and Shield, which is just Aqua Patch for Metal Pokemon. So you can Metal Saucer an energy onto a Metal Pokemon, and then Energy Switch it over to a non-Metal Pokemon. And again, really good for Arceus and Dialga and Palkia. They love that turn 1 GX attack, but they need a Metal and a Water. So being able to use Energy Switch after a Zacian or a Metal Saucer is a really, really good thing to do. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the trainers which are coming back. I've done videos on all the new trainers, but these are the ones that are coming back in Sword and Shield. And some of them you're going to look at and go, well, why do I care? But come September, an awful lot of these cards are going to be saved purely because of the reprints in Sword and Shield, which makes them a rather important thing going forward. But now it's over to you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know which of these cards you're happy are sticking around. I want to know which of these cards you're playing and which of them you're loving. Which of them would have made you sad had they gone away? So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in but are awesome. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.